That is so needed right now. Hello my lovelies and welcome to today's video. I'm Victoria. If you are new here, hi, hello. I am currently in the midst of filming a reading vlog, but I don't see it realistically being uploaded until next week. And it's been like 2 weeks since I've uploaded and it's bothering me. It's really bothering me. Because of that, I thought it would be fun to do a book tag. Honestly, bring back book tags. They were such a pinnacle point in my teen booktube years. I loved doing them so much. They were so fun. I did do the splendid spring book tag last spring and it was so much fun, and I know I wanna do one, so I'm going to do one. And I literally just went into Google, let me get my phone, and I just typed in book tag and I came across this blog, ZZ with Books, and they seem to do a lot of book tags, and they did one called the Easter time book tag, which I thought was so perfect because Easter is this Sunday. I don't know, I'm hoping to have this up before the weekend. So if I can get this uploaded before Easter, that'd be great. But Easter is this Sunday and I thought this would be the perfect book tag to do. I will leave this blog in the description below so you can go check it out, because she does credit the original creator, who I believe is Teresa from the Calico Books, but I'll link everything down below. I've picked the books that I thought fitted best for these prompts in this book tag, so let's just crack on with the Easter book tag. Okay, so the first prompt is Easter egg. Name a book that feels like a hidden gem. So with this one, I've actually gone with a book that I don't have with me, and it is called Knife by R.J. Anderson. It has been about probably over 10 years since I read this book, but I have never heard of it anywhere in the book sphere, on the online book sphere. I was absolutely obsessed with this book series when I was like 13 years old. I believe it's a trilogy. I honestly can't even remember much about it. I just remember loving it, and I do really want to reread it, but it's one of those books that I don't think she's actually written much since writing this series, and I think she wrote another trilogy kind of based or similar to this series. I'd never heard of it before. I can't even remember how I found it or why I picked it up. You know what, I'm gonna quickly look up the synopsis, because I don't want to give a false synopsis of it, but I know it's to do with fairies. I was gonna say I was in my fairy girl era. I'm constantly in my fairy girl era. That's just a ridiculous thing to say. I've never not been in my fairy girl era. But I think I was obviously trying to find books that had fairies in it or a fairy plot, and I must have maybe googled like books about fairies and this came up. 2009. It was released in 2009. So on Goodreads, the description says, once upon a time a fairy is born. She lives in an old oak tree at the bottom of a garden with the rest of the fairy folk. Never has she known a time when life hasn't been hard, with many dangers and much adversity. But when she becomes the hunter of the group and learns to do battle in the outside world, her adventures really take off. Don't read this book if you're expecting fairy dust. The last thing Knife is likely to wield is a magic wand. Oh my goodness. It's the first book in the Fairy Rebels series. The second book is the second book is Rebel and the third book is Arrow. I can't remember if it was well written. I literally cannot remember anything. But I had never heard of it before. I've never heard of it since, and I just think it's a bit of a hidden gem. If you like kind of the darker fairy tale kind of books, this might be one to check out. Bloom, a debut novel you loved. Okay, so I think this is probably going to go to no surprise with how much I harp on about how much I love this author, but the book I chose for this prompt is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I bought this, I think, during one of the lockdowns, but I didn't read it until the year after, I think, ? Possibly, maybe. I just remember being at college doing my Access diploma before coming to uni, and I remember sitting in the canteen reading this book. I devoured it in 24 hours. I loved it so much. I knew instantly that this was an author I was going to be buying more books from. One of the selling points of this was the fact that I'd heard it was a Rey and Kylo Ren fanfic published. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was one of the things that sold it to me. But then it also got sold to me because at the time, and I still am, I was studying science, a woman in STEM. This book was kind of going around TikTok because of how it was a romance highlighting women in STEM. The TikTok sensation, as it says on the cover. Yeah, this was her debut novel. I loved it, ate it up. She is now an auto-buy author for me. I have nothing else to say. Okay, the next prompt is Chocolate Bunny, a book so good you didn't want it to end. Now, I struggled with this prompt because I feel like obviously there could have been so many choices, and I was looking at my bookshelves and I was also trying to think about the books that I read like in my teen years, like years ago. But the book that stood out to me the most, that, you know, held me for pretty much every single page, and I just didn't want it to end because I also knew I'll be waiting quite a while until the next book, and that was A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I do have a reading vlog if you're interested to see my thoughts and opinions, but I loved this book and I got through it so much faster than I was expecting. When you're loving such a big chunky book, you're kind of like, this is going to take forever, it's going to be great because there's so much to read and I'm going to be in this world for ages. And then because you're loving it so much and you're devouring it, you're realising you're getting closer and closer to the end. And you're a bit like, I'm approaching this faster than I want to. So I definitely had that feeling with this book, and then when I finished it, I just had so many feelings, and I also knew that it was going to be a hot minute until the next book, and we still don't know when the next book is going to be. We are anxiously awaiting it. Cheap. A book you bought for super cheap. For this one, I chose... Okay, I still don't know if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly or not, but it's Dalagut Dream Department Store by Mie Lee. I got this in a charity shop for £1.60. Absolute bargain. If I remember which one it is, I'll put it on the screen, but I bought this in a reading vlog, completely off the cuff, super impromptu. I wasn't looking for a book, but this is literally in perfect condition. I want to read more translated fiction, and this is translated from Korean. And I've also heard wonderful things about it, and the cover super stood out to me. And it also kind of screams spring a little bit, so I may actually pick this up soon. It sounds very whimsical, very magical. I'm trying to remember. Let me put my hot chocolate down. Day and night, visitors both human and animal shuffle in to purchase their latest adventure. Each floor specialises in a specific type of dream. Childhood memories, ice skating, dreams of stardom, your crush. Flying dreams are almost always sold out. Dreams of your favourite food make you feel like you can almost taste it. Join Penny, an enthusiastic new hire, as she uncovers the workings of this whimsical world and bonds with a cast of unforgettable characters, including Mrs. Weather, her reliable confidant, Baby Nap Rockabye, a famous dream designer, Maxim, a nightmare producer, and Dalagut himself, the flamboyant and genius mastermind behind the store. So yeah, it just sounds like such a fun, whimsy, light-hearted book, and I got it for £1.60. I cannot complain. Okie dokes. Prompt number 5 is Jelly Bean, a book you thought was just so sweet. I had 2 for this one. The first one, well, I went with my original first choice, but I nearly chose, I guess I can tell you it now. I guess the runner-up to this was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I love that book. That is such a good, cozy fantasy, and there is one specific character in it that just makes me just wanna, oh, he's so cute. But then I was thinking about my original pick, and I had that feeling for that one character, but for all the characters in this other book, and I just felt it throughout the whole time I was reading it. So I thought that would be the better option to go for, and that is The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. I read this last spring. I do have a reading blog on it if you're curious to see my thoughts and opinions, but I loved this book. I had a really fun time with it, and the characters in this book, they are just so sweet, so wholesome, apart from Toad. Toad is a menace to society and to himself. I said it when I read it, and I'm saying it now, and I'm standing by it. But yeah, this is such a lovely, lovely read. You can read it in the spring. I feel like you could even read it in the autumn. It starts in the spring, and it basically takes you throughout like a year in the life of these characters, these animals. But there isn't really a plot. It is literally kind of vibes and characters. It's really, really gentle. It's a children's classic as well. I loved this edition of it because it's got the original illustrations by E.H. Shepard, who illustrated Winnie the Pooh. I love this book. Excuse my voice, it's going brilliant. But yeah, I love this book so much. So sweet, so wholesome. Highly recommend if you just want an easy, cozy, giggly read. Okay, the next prompt is Church, and it is a book that changed your life. Now with this one, I want to choose 2. So the first one I don't have with me, but it is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I'm never sure if I'm actually pronouncing the author's name correctly. That book changed my life. Like, my copy of it is back at home, but it was the first book I ever highlighted and annotated. The messages I was receiving from it just spoke so deeply to me, and I just am in awe of that book. And then the second book I want to pick for this prompt is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. This book and movie, there is a movie of it. Oh, how do I even describe this book? It's, firstly, the illustrations in this book are just so gorgeous, so stunning. It's one of those kind of, you learn a lesson on every single page. And again, there isn't an overall, there's kind of a plot, but there isn't a plot. But it's just one of those books that when you're feeling down or feeling sad or lonely, you can pick up this book and feel heard and feel seen and feel held. And this book just has such a special place in my heart. And again, it's one of those that I recommend to anyone and everyone. It makes me feel so much, but in such a good way. Every time I'm feeling stuck or unseen or lonely, I can just open this book. I usually read the whole thing because you can read it pretty quickly, but I just feel so seen by this book and I adore it. I love it. It's one of my favourite books of all time, and if he ever decides to release something else, I will definitely be picking it up because I feel like he just speaks to me and I just love it, love it, love it, love it. And it's definitely changed my life for sure. And the final prompt for the Easter book tag is Easter Basket, which is a book filled with so many surprises. I really struggled with this prompt because I feel like the best genre that would fit this prompt would be a thriller or a mystery. And I don't really read a lot of those. The ones that I have read clearly haven't left the biggest lasting impression. The ones that I can think of, Two Could Keep a Secret. I remember the ending of that book just left me gobsmacked, but I don't really remember much about the actual book itself. And then, yeah, I really struggled with this. So I kind of went with the one with the book that I have the most clearest memory of, that has left me like gobsmacked, shocked, didn't see it coming whatsoever. Again, I do have a reading vlog of this book on my channel, but that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, I feel like this may be a bit of a maybe confusing choice for some people, especially if you haven't read it, but if you have read it, I'm referring to the end. There aren't like I mean, there are though. There are some like, I was gonna say twists and turns, like shocks and things throughout the book for sure, but the one at the end got me the most. It got me right here, right in the gut. And to this day, I haven't really found a book that has left me like this book has left me, to the point where I'm actually afraid to read more of her work. I still haven't read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I bought that before I bought this. The ending of this book got me. Jaw to the floor. Did not expect it and did not see it coming. And there are other kind of little surprises throughout as well. And I think Amazon did a really good job with the TV show. So if you haven't read the book, and if you're not a reader, I don't know why you're watching this video. But if you read the book and haven't watched the TV show, I highly recommend it. It's very good. So, my lovelies, that is the end of the book tag. I want to do more of these. I want to do more sit-down videos, but I just struggle to think of ideas for sit-down videos, and book tags is just such an easy one to go for. So thank you so much for joining me today and for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I would leave all the links and stuff down below to the original blog, to the blog that I use. If I'm able to find the original one, I'll leave that down below as well. Let me know in the comments below your responses to any of these questions. I would love to know them. I hope you all have a lovely Easter if you celebrate it. I hope you all had a lovely Ostara. I certainly did. It was fabulous. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye!